Your website is the front door of your business, but the way teams build and optimize it is broken. Stuck between inflexible templates and cumbersome code-dependent solutions? Enter Webflow, a visual-first platform that empowers you to create freely. Now you can ship web pages in weeks instead of months and save millions in development costs. These are the real results for companies like Orange Theory, Dropbox, and IDEO. Get started today at webflow.com. Webflow, more than a website builder.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Pasquarelli, Special Projects Editor and Senior Reporter at Ad Age, and welcome to another edition of the Marketer's Brief Podcast, our weekly discussion about marketing news and trends that have the industry buzzing. In recent years, a host of new brands catering to parents have popped up to meet the needs of consumers. Babylist, which was founded in 2011 as a universal registry platform for new parents, has since evolved into several different revenue streams, including media. It's succeeding in the baby business when others have failed, and today we'll find out why. We'll be talking with Leanne Grant, Chief Growth Officer at Babylist. She'll discuss Babylist's evolution and expansion into a showroom, its media business, and its marketing. Now here's my conversation with Leanne. Hi, Leanne. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about the founding of Babylist. Did it start as a retailer or only as a registry platform? And tell me about the needs that it was solving for at that time, back in 2011, I think it was.
Yeah, so we started and are still a technology company. And I say that because we have actually kind of a pretty traditional tech founding story in that we have our founder and CEO is an engineer. She was trying to kind of hack a new idea. The book Lean Startup had just come out. I don't know if I'm sure some of the listeners have read it, but it's really about kind of building an MVP, testing, learning, and talking to your users. Maybe the untraditional part of the story is that she was 8 months pregnant. I don't think most hackers are. And she just was trying to build her registry. And she realized she needed a lot of things that she couldn't get on a single retailer. So whether that was kind of emerging brands that weren't sold on Amazon or a dog walker. So she built her own prototype. She launched it on Hacker News, which people in the tech world are probably really aware of, and said, hey, I just built this thing. What do you guys think? And she had her baby. People liked it, and she built it from there. So it was bootstrapped. We haven't raised that much money. It was initially actually monetized solely through affiliate. So all of the relationships with the retailers. And fast forward to today, last year we drove $1 billion in GMV. So $1 billion of gifts were purchased off our platform, more than $400 million revenue, and we have 4 different revenue streams. So a lot going on, but their core product is still kind of this really helpful app and website that helps you figure out what you need for baby and helps your friends and family buy you stuff.
And how long have you been there?
I've been here it'll be 4 years next month. I started in May 2020 as a consultant, which was like a really fun way for me to get to know the team and help them through early COVID, which actually was a good thing for the business. So I was helping them kind of grow even faster. And then I joined full time about 6 months later.
And your title of Chief Growth Officer, it's different from a CMO position, but tell me about why that is and kind of what you handle in terms of your responsibilities.
Yeah, it's a really good call out. So I own all of marketing. So our teams are performance or kind of acquisition marketing, lifecycle marketing, because so much of our business is about like what trimester are you in, how many weeks old is your baby, all of that, and then brand. And then I also own our sales team. And so, or lead our sales team. They are responsible for 2 of our 4 revenue streams. So again, kind of back to the diversity of our business. We've got an e-commerce business, we've got a media business, we've got a health insurance reimbursement business. So the CGO title is kind of similar to like what you would see as at a media company of like a chief revenue officer, where I lead the sales team that does all of our media revenue. So that's hundreds of advertisers that come to Babylist and want to reach our light stage audience, as well as our affiliate relationships. So that's big and small retailers. We've got Etsy, we've got D2C brands who were driving sales to their site.
Wow, that's a lot. Did you have a similar role at your most recent company, or is it something that you've kind of mastered in the last few years?
I don't know if I've mastered it, but I appreciate that compliment. I do. I think I mentioned 4 years ago, I met Natalie and I was consulting, or I wanted to consult for her. And she was telling me about the business. And she said, our revenue streams are e-commerce, media revenue, and affiliate. And I was like, oh, wow, I've done all of those. And I love, so my background is I'm at Pop Sugar, which is a media company, but we had media revenue as well as affiliate revenue. I worked at Google, and then I worked at kind of smaller e-commerce companies as well. And all those companies, we always wanted to have another revenue stream. Like media companies always want to grow into e-commerce. E-commerce companies want retail media. And so I was like really familiar with the dynamics of how all of those revenue streams work and could grow together. So I felt really confident in that. I had not had a CMO role, but felt like because I had been on the sales side so much, I'd worked with so many marketers that I kind of like learned from the best marketers in the world. So
Since Babylist was founded, the company has grown, as you said, but so many competitors that are straight retailers have had a lot of struggles, like Babies R Us, which was in bankruptcy and now is back, and Bye Bye Baby was kind of a similar story. Why do you think Babylist has been able to succeed in this category? And how do some of those different revenue streams that you mentioned play a role in that?
yeah, I think there's a couple reasons. I mean, you probably talk to retailers all the time. It's really hard to be a retailer. It's competitive, margins can be low, etc. We don't think of ourselves as a retailer. We think of ourselves as a technology company. And what that means is like a lot of product-led growth. And so we have a big engineering and product team. They build amazing products. It makes my job easier as a marketer because I'm not spending money to grow. I'm spending money to kind of market that product. So that's one part of it. The second is we really understand our users. We do a lot at the company, whether it's quarterly company user panels, strong UXR team, monthly recaps of what our customers or our users are saying. And that lets us kind of not follow the playbook of other retailers maybe, and instead say, what do our users actually need? And this user specifically is really interesting, right? It's we have to acquire people when they're like 3 to 6 months pregnant. That's our demographic is solely kind of that, or maybe they're adopting or having a surrogate. They use us for 6 months and then they can move on, right? And so we have to stay laser focused on like just finding those users, and then they'll do all the work for us. They'll invite 25 friends to give them gifts, and those people will come and purchase gifts for us. And then those gift givers, a bunch of them will become pregnant and they'll say, oh, okay, now I'll sign up for Babylist. So there's a flywheel to it. So there's the technology, the user focus, the flywheel. And then, as you mentioned at the end, we have these 4 different business models. And so we're not reliant just on one of them to grow or be profitable. It's kind of the combination of all of those that allows us to serve our users and like monetize various, there's so many ways that you spend money when you're becoming a parent. So having media allows us to tap into like, how do we kind of give them financial services content and monetize them that way? And the breast pump health insurance business is saying, oh, we can help you get that other need. So kind of offering all these different commercial opportunities.
Well, speaking of like the breast pumps and things like that, I understand that the company has been making a big push into health and wellness and not just baby products, but kind of some of these maternity offerings as well. Can you talk a bit about some of those expansion efforts?
Yeah, sure. So you nailed it. For like 11 years, we only talked about products, like what do you need for a baby? But the other big thing happening with our user is like there's so much happening with mind and body, right? Like you are growing a baby in your body, you have sleep, and then you're breastfeeding and their labor. And so we started with kind of like what's the user need? And then we actually acquired 2 companies 2 years ago. They were our first 2 acquisitions. And they were both in the health and wellness space. And one was a DME, so durable medical equipment. It was a small company that had relationships with insurance providers that allowed us to process insurance reimbursements. And that acquisition came because every pregnant woman is eligible for a free breast pump through insurance. And so we said, we have all these women that are pregnant. Why not help them figure out what breast pump they need? We're really good at content. We're really good at product discovery. And then we'll just kind of process that insurance reimbursement on the back end. I made it sound a lot easier than it actually was. Obviously, insurance is very complicated, but that's turned into an 8-figure business pretty quickly in less than a year and a half. And our customers love it. Very high NPS. And then the other acquisition we made was of a small app in the wellness space called Expectful. And we're turning that into kind of the media arm of everything going on with mind and body for moms. So there's a lot of questions if you're pregnant or expecting, like, can I fly when I'm 38 weeks pregnant? Or can I take aspirin when I'm pregnant? And just kind of serving them with those needs, as well as creating really interesting TikTok content and email and all of that.
So kind of like an expert resource for them for all those questions during those 10 months of pregnancy.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's take a quick break for this message from our sponsor.
Your website is the front door of your business, but the way teams build and optimize it is broken. Stuck between inflexible templates and cumbersome code-dependent solutions? Enter Webflow, a visual-first platform that empowers you to create freely. Now you can ship web pages in weeks instead of months and save millions in development costs. These are the real results for companies like Orange Theory, Dropbox, and IDEO. Get started today at webflow.com. Webflow, more than a website builder.
Welcome back. So as a digital first brand, a technology brand, how does Babylist think about marketing? And are you pursuing a digital first strategy there?
Yeah, I would say our vast majority of our marketing spend is in digital. And it's very kind of, as I said earlier, like very user-faced. We have this very specific target demo. So we are kind of investing in all the channels where everybody else does, Google, Meta, etc. Where we're really focused this year is in social video. We have, I think, kind of maybe a marketer's nightmare, which is that we have to, our users turn kind of every year and they get younger every year, right? Or they say the same age, but we have to access a younger generation. So our sweet spot is kind of women 25 to 35. We're always thinking about, okay, what are 25-year-olds like? And so really focusing on TikTok, really focused not just on like the UGC funny videos, but we are creating evergreen videos like stroller videos that now if you search for strollers on TikTok, Babylist shows up first, right? So that type of stuff. So really social first. The second thing we're really focused on is that lifecycle marketing. So we've got emails, push notifications, a message center, SMS, kind of all these different channels, and thinking about really what does a user need when they are just building their registry or when they're in their fourth trimester postpartum, and building kind of a really user-first experience for those people. And it's a very different playbook, right, than retail. It's not about Black Friday, Cyber Monday as a date. It's for us, we say we have 2,000 Black Fridays every day, which is our Black Friday is a baby shower. So we have this big bump in sales for a user a couple weeks before the baby shower. So how do we like kind of make that evergreen ongoing marketing work? And then the last part of it is not digital at all, which is we opened our first physical showroom last year. It's this amazing space in Beverly Hills. It's 18,000 square feet. So it's this kind of big playground. It's like if IKEA met a Bass Pro Shop, so like very kind of experiential and fun. And consumers come in there, but celebrities come in there, influencers come in there, and they create content. They learn how to push a stroller. They see how heavy it is to carry a car seat. And people spend like 2 to 3 hours there just figuring out what they need for baby. So that's been a huge, I guess, kind of shift in our strategy away from solely digital to really making a big push into the physical world.
That sounds like you're seeing a lot of success. And it's interesting that it's a showroom and not a retailer. So people can just try things out and then order it online. Do you envision having more showrooms moving forward, or kind of how is physical entering the long-term strategy for the brand?
Yeah, I think you nailed it in that, like, again, our user is really interesting because they want to figure out what stroller they want, car seat they want. Like they're making hundreds of product decisions, but they don't want to buy anything, right? So they're like, if we want them to be able to go into this space and make all these product decisions, but they want their mother-in-law to buy it or their grandma or something like that. So the showroom really makes sense for our user and our model because of that. I don't know that every retailer should make a showroom because we don't sell diapers there, right? People are, if it's something you actually need immediately. I think, well, we don't have immediate plans to open more showrooms or go into retail. The best impact we're seeing is really kind of on the brand. So celebrities are coming in there and announcing their pregnancy, and they're bringing in photographers and press and that.
That's great. I mean,
Oh, it's so fun. It's
it's
like,
such a benefit.
yeah, it's I feel like there's a lot of celebration around kind of weddings, and people used to go to fly to New York and go to Kleinfeld's and say yes to the dress and all of that. And we're like, why isn't that for a baby? And so we built this really cool space. We opened in August and we've already actually changed it a little bit to add a baby shower room. So influencers are coming in and like having their baby showers. And we do massage at them and tarot cards, and their friends can like try out all the products before they like buy them for the baby shower. So it's like a very fun experience. We will not have 10 of these. Like this is definitely our flagship showroom. Maybe we should open one in New York near you, but maybe some pop-ups too.
Now, are the influencers, is that organic? They're just coming in on their own, or are you inviting them in, or is it kind of a mixture of both?
It's like a really interesting mixture of both. I definitely had this field of dreams strategy that I went to our board a couple years ago and said, I want to open this big space, and like if we build it, they will come. And a couple of our board members have said, I really didn't understand what you were talking about, but I trusted you and now I get it.
They didn't know the reference of the movie,
No,
or
just like
just the dream.
just this like feeling of like if you build this space, celebrities will stop by. And so a lot of them do. We have an amazing team on site and they'll put in Slack, oh my gosh, this person just walked in. Or so that's been really fun just to see the location work, the allure work. There isn't really a great other option for them. So they're like, oh great, like I want to come see the products. And then yeah, we have an influencer agency. We'll invite influencers in too. But it's a really nice mix of us doing the work and people just showing up or DMing us and saying, hey, is it okay if I come by? And we say, of course, we'd love to have you. So
Now, you mentioned the media business that you guys have, and it sounds like you were kind of ahead of that trend that a lot of current retailers have tapped into over the last couple of years. But can you talk a bit about that business and how it's going as you sell space to outside advertisers?
yeah, so I think you nailed it. When I started 4 years ago, it was purely the business had started because of inbounds. Like brands were reaching out to us and saying, can I pay you to send an email to your audience? Because this life stage is I always say everything changes when you can become a parent. You are people buy new houses, they buy new cars, they of course need to figure out what products they need. They get new insurance, they start a 529 savings account, like they write their will for the first, like everything is changing and there's just so many decisions to make. And so a lot of brands want to access this audience, and everything we create is kind of bespoke. So we create the content and then we distribute it to our audience. And it's grown significantly. We have hundreds of brands, whether they're larger CPG brands, non-endemic brands like DoorDash or Open Door or Shipt. And our partners are coming back year after year. They really see the value in us as a property. So I'm really bullish on the business. It's grown significantly and I think will kind of continue to scale.
And we only have a couple minutes left, but I wanted to ask you about AI and if you guys are experimenting on anything with generative AI or any kinds as you think about the business.
Yeah, I would say we're approaching in a couple of ways. One is our head of SVP of engineering and I, about a year and a half ago, did an all hands for the whole company, kind of explained what it was and said, not only do you have permission to use these tools, because I think a lot of people were scared to kind of share the information, but you're very much encouraged. And that set the stage for everyone from our IT team to our merchandisers to our marketing team, kind of just using it as a tool. So brainstorm ideas for a TikTok video, or we've run tests of AI versus our editorial and subject lines and emails.
Who's winning?
It's such a good one time AI won, one time our editors won. So I think jury's out. But that's kind of the whole point, right? Which is like sometimes the human is the winner and sometimes AI isn't. So like use both. And so I'm actually kind of most bullish, excited about like if I could get everybody at Babylist to use AI once a week, I would. I think there's so many. I'm actually planning my offsite right now with our people ops person and we were talking about icebreakers and she's like, okay, I went to ChatGPT, here are 10 ideas. And then we whittle it down and then we perfect them. So a lot of the strategy is in kind of like that team enablement and efficiency. And then on the other side, we like maybe more deep tech. We've had some predictive models that are like machine learning models for a couple of years about predicting how big people's registry is going to be and predicting how likely they are to like convert, because our commercialization is, we're kind of long lead, right? I create my registry, I build it for 4 months, and then I share it. And so as a performance marketer, we need models like that are going to tell me, okay, what is an efficient CAC at day one, given how we're going to monetize them 6 months later. And so we're investing more and more in models like that enable the team and kind of predict the user behavior.
Well, we are out of time. Thank you so much for joining us.
It was great. Thanks for having me.
That was Leanne Grant, Chief Growth Officer at Babylist, and I'm Adrienne Pasquarelli, Special Projects Editor and Senior Reporter at Ad Age. I'd like to thank our producer, Lauren Ciardio, and invite you to subscribe to the Marketer's Brief podcast on your favorite player. We promise to keep it brief, or at least short enough for your morning coffee. Thanks for tuning in.
Marketer's Brief listeners get $40 off an adage.com subscription. Sharpen your marketing edge and visit adage.com/brief for your discount.